in Kakamega County, Ochanda?
Well, in the wake of what has now become popular as the Gen Z demonstrations that have been witnessed countrywide in almost all towns in the Republic, and we've seen the head of state, President William Ruto, on Wednesday evening really coming out and conceding to the demands of the protesters and demonstrators countrywide to just discard the wall finance bill 2024. But remember that the pressure hasn't yet really been quelled. And remember that also the key voices in the society, the clergy, and here in Kakamega, we are just talking to the clergy in Kakamega to also give a view, of course, give their views and their stand on the happenings in the country. Karibu sana. Maybe you just tell us your name and the church you come from, and of course, your stand and your view about the current situation in the country. Yes, the president might have conceded and really making that bold decision, bold step, and really requesting and pleading with the youth to ensure that they suspend their demonstrations, and of course even calling them on the table, negotiation table, in the coming days. Maybe as the clergy, the voice, there is a voice of reason in the society. What is your take about this?
Well, my name is Apostle Ken Baraza, the Bishop of New House of Grace Church in Kakamega here, and also the County Chaplain of Kakamega. First and foremost, let me begin by passing my sincere, heartfelt condolences to those young generation who lost life in the protest of maybe fighting for their right or their voice to be heard. As a community and a church, together with my fellow bishops and pastors from different churches, we are supposed to raise our voice in such a moment like this, when the nation is at tense and everything is at standstill. We want also to thank God for the call, the president to heed the cry of the Gen Zs and even other men and women of God who are also in line and in support of them to air their voice. One thing that I want to say is that the government took a long time. If they could have responded early enough when we were speaking as clergy through the media, and even some of the bishops who are trying to talk to our president, these things could have not come this far. But because we took time and we underrated the voice of the young people, this is the reason why we have entered into turmoil and even begin losing life, which is not good at all, my friend.
Maybe, Apostle,
yes,
you're talking about they took time, but at least they took that bold step, conceded to the demands. But that optics, the president is talking in Nairobi, the deputy is talking in Mombasa, and they are talking about the same thing, but in different tongues. And it also risks maybe drawing further wages. As the clergy, how do you interpret this?
Well, we have also seen there are two bodies speaking different language, which is also not good at all. So as the church, we appeal on a very high note and urgent matter that the president and his deputy come together. Let the speech be read as one mind, one body. But if they sit and talk from different parts, it might think that it's a sabotage and the enemy can intrude in and cause division, which the church will stand and we refuse that.
Nice. Yes. Thanks so much. Maybe another colleague of yours here to just, we've seen in the past, we've had such scenarios, but this particular demonstration was one of a kind because it's sort of faceless. In the past, you'll actually call the leaders of these demonstrations as the clergy. How do maybe, of course, the president has indicated that he will be calling the youth on the table. How should it be structured?
Yes. My name's Pastor Nathan Lanya of Christian Church International Kakamega. First of all, I want to thank God for this great moment that our nation, we were worried of having chaos, but we thank God for bringing calm. Also, I want to thank the president for conceding and accepting to yield to the demands of the Kenyan people, even though the children were the ones that were ahead, but those were Kenyans. The president has decided to wants to meet the leadership of the Gen Z generation to have a conversation. That is the way we go. We support. And now, because this is a movement that was spontaneous, people that just came on streets spontaneously because of how the situation in the nation is, the president has got to sit down and craft a mechanism on how to meet the young people. These young people can be met through churches, because every Sunday they sit with pastors. Every Sunday they meet their leaders in the church. It is through the church he can meet the youth. Then number two, he can also meet the youth through their websites, through their social media sites. That's where they converge. He can still meet them. But if he decides to use the normal government machinery, they will pick up people that are not supposed to be the one leading the movement. Yes.
Maybe to split the minutes here for fair spreading of the address minutes. Maybe you'll tell us your name and which church you come from, and we've seen a wanton destruction of property, and today they are still threatening to still pour to the streets. As they exercise their democratic rights of picketing, maybe as the church, what do you call of them to, maybe in terms of restraining and ensuring that they desist from destruction of property? Like in Kakamega, there was monumental damage of property.
Well, my name is Reverend Fosas Mpapale of Jesus Disciple Ministry. I want to thank God that God has heard our prayer as a country. And I want also to thank our youth, the Gen Z generation, for the bold step they took, as much it has costed us. But I want to say that we thank also the president for conceding. And also I want to call upon our Gen Z, the young generation, that when you make a call and you are heard, you have to agree and accept that what you wanted has been done. So as per now, we call upon them now, wherever they are in the entire country, not to continue bringing threats to the nation. Because what we have seen the destruction, and as a church, we cannot condone that. Because our parliament has been destroyed part of things in Kakamega. We had a lot of destruction. And we are calling upon them, wherever they are in the country, that they let them sit down and wait for the direction from the president. And I know the country has all the machineries, that they know where to get the right people. And they know they will use them and get them. And wherever they are, they can also come up, if they are, because they are sure what they are doing. The entire country was for them, because the bill was for all the nation was suffering. So we are calling upon them now not to continue giving threats, but to concede, and we give God the glory. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Well, because of time, but we still have the Swahili bulletin where we shall also be spreading the addressing minutes here. But from the address here is all about calling for tranquility because of the president's bold step on Wednesday evening of conceding and doing away in totality of that particular bill, which shall be sent back to Parliament. Of course, it's a procedure. So the clergy here in Kakamega, the voice of reason, really calling on the youth to exercise restraint, and also on the presidency, that is the president and his deputy, to ensure that there is actually a central command where the structure of communication really does not appear to be dividing Kenyans more. But for our Kiswahili bulletin, we shall still be talking to them about what they really call on the youth of Kenya.
Thank you, Ochanda, as you bring us up to speed on the situation in Kakamega, including the message from the clergy there. We continue to bring you the updates on the situation across the country. Don't go too far, but now let's take a short commercial break.